Hello and welcome to the iRace ANZ chat show. Tonight's show is a special one. We don't normally do this, or we have never done one, but we are doing our 2025 Bathurst 1000 post show. And I'm Scott Stevens. Beside me today, once again, my fellow friend from Queensland, Australia, Trent Thomas. How you going, mate?
Yeah, good, Scott. Yourself? Good evening, all. This is a one-off special show. We've never done this before, so here we are to talk about all things Bathurst 1000 2025. The good, bad, the ugly, as some may think.
Yeah, going to be good show. I'm looking forward to this. We've kind of done this a bit spontaneously. If I'm honest, sorry, just having to sort out some stuff over here. If anybody's out there listening in, give us a thumbs up or a comment. Make sure you can hear us. We're still learning all about our how to run this show. So hopefully it's all coming through okay. But we weren't going to do a show. Our normal show was going to be next week. And we decided after the weekend's racing, the weekend's event, that we should probably talk about it. And like Trent said, the good, the bad, the ugly. So we've got a bit of stuff to get through, I think. Trent, what do you think?
Yeah, we've got a few things to discuss tonight. There was obviously a lot occurred the weekend. Obviously, from the parity talks, weather certainly threw in a big curveball, and all the young fellas that were the ones that really shined.
Shine
Really
through, yeah.
Really shined through in that race, especially in the tricky conditions. Like really impressive, what they were able to achieve. While it was the more experienced blokes that were throwing it off the track.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely. I agree with you there. It's good to see. Like I think you can see straight away a bit of new, fresh blood coming through, and it's going to be a future of the sport. But we'll touch on that a bit down the track. So I think we kick off though with the good. I think is something that we should work with here. Let's start off with some positive vibes from it, and there's some crowd figures that have come through, which very impressed with. 5.5 million TV viewers, and I think if you add on top of that, I don't have the figure in front of me at all, but something like 140 or 170. I'm going 140 kind of comes to mind more so with actual on-track spectators as well. So 100.
I think it was actually 195.
Oof. Okay. Yeah. Let's just round it off. 200,000 spectators for the weekend at the race. There we go.
Yeah, I think I saw 195 somewhere, but yeah, so very impressive numbers, especially the TV viewers. It's very impressive. 5.5 million people watch that race at some point in time.
Yeah, I know. I watched it live. I wasn't going on that one, and
I watched all 4 days. I actually had the week off work, and I literally parked my butt in the lounge on Thursday morning and watched it through till Sunday evening.
Righto, Tracy, bring you down some sandwiches, mate.
Yeah, so with my very understanding wife.
Few drinks as well, yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, she looked after me, and I pretty much just did nothing for those 4 days except sit in front of the TV. So
I think we might have to get Tracy on the show to find out what you do back for her.
No, let's not do that. I'll get in trouble. I've never actually sat there for 4 full days before, so it was pretty interesting. Like the amount of on-track action, I guess you could say, is pretty constant. Especially the Thursday and the Friday. Like you think they'd be the dead days, but like every something had finished within 15 minutes, the next session is on. It's just like all day. It was really, really good.
Yeah, and I think the thing with that was the support categories that they had there. So obviously you're going to have the Super 2, but it's pretty cool to see that younger generation, and not saying they haven't had it before, but you get a sight of who's coming through the ranks, what's happening, and I think pretty much, well, definitely the top 4 in the Super 2 Championship drove in the Bathurst 1000.
Yep.
And I think we've got some mention of at least one of them later on our agenda. So that was, really good to see. The TCM, I don't know. I'm a bit hard with. I'm not hard. I don't know. I don't know if it's a crowd favourite. I think it is. I think to some people, like from back in the day, like that love their Taranas and love their, I don't know, Mustangs and fastbacks and whatnot. Like, love it. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. I definitely appreciate it. But I think I enjoyed watching the old last year when they had Murphy in the, I think it was Dulux or DuPont VN Group A, the black thing. Somebody else was driving the 015 96, 97, I'm thinking it was, the VRVS HRT Commodore. There was a Sierra out there. So I think because it's probably like an age thing, actually, now I think of it. Born in the 70s, didn't start watching motorsport until I was 4, so I would have been, that would have been 81. So anybody out there, do some maths there and you'll figure out what year I was born. So it probably doesn't, I guess it's not a big influence on me, that type of racing back then, whereas that 80s and 90s, even early 2000s, like BA and VZ Commodores and that kind of stuff, like, was just, to me, epic racing. And would love to see those cars probably come to Bathurst rather than TCM.
Yeah, probably the late 80s is where I sort of got into watching a lot of the Australian categories more than anything else. I remember, 83, the green's
tough Falcon.
Yeah. Falcon into the trees. I was 3 years old at the time, but I actually remember that.
Yeah.
Watching that lap actually back now, and the way that thing, the sound it made, how the tyres were like ridiculously wide.
Yep.
And it still slid around, and it was a weapon of a machine to just watch on that lap. And that's why with TCM, I was pretty excited to see the XD Falcons start to come into the series, because that's where my appreciation starts to come from.
VC Commodore, I think, as well. Garnett Patterson was driving that one.
Yeah, driving VC Commodore,
but, just more in line with, that era that you were talking about with the XD kind of thing, and they've got, obviously, the Holden versus Ford scenario there with the Commodore as well. So,
and then I love the Sierras in the late 80s, where they just, even Brocky drove a Ford.
He did.
He drove the Ford Sierra.
He did indeed.
They were just the car to have. It just dominated everything.
Yeah.
Brilliant car. I remember, actually Dick Johnson, his description of driving that car was, it's basically the way that the turbo come on, it was, you're pottering around with about 70 horsepower, and within the space of about 500 RPM, you've got 650 horsepower. It's ridiculous. He said it was so hard to drive, but just an awesome experience.
Yeah, very much. I guess point it out of the corner and nail it. Not whereas when you've got a torque band that's probably more linear, so to speak, you can flow through the corner, to keep your speed through the corner and coming up out of the corner. Whereas those things would have been in, turn, drill it, boost. Thanks very
Hang
much.
on.
And how much PSI would you like? Yes.
I think he was,
all of it.
I think he said he was on about 35 from memory. I could be completely wrong with that, but
imagine being ahead on one of them.
Just a stupid amount of power. He said, like, and in such a small range, it went from nothing to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can only imagine.
So, touching on horsepower, the Angus Fogg Mustang. Are you kidding me? That thing is a road train.
Yep.
Out of this world fast.
It was hilarious watching it. He must have backed off in certain places, because honestly, like, he'd just take off up the straights and he could have just gapped that field if he wanted to. It feels like.
Yeah, I think he was probably more, I don't want to just go, you think of it, New Zealand car,
make it a show.
He's paid for it to come over here, wouldn't have been cheap. Entry into the event, not cheap. And for the amount of time that they actually got on track, I think light races were maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, they were really. That's probably one of the disappointing things about the weekend was a lot of the support races were pretty short, but I think that also led from all the yellow flags and the crashes and stuff they had too. So
yeah,
but the 86s, like that final race, was awesome to watch. Unfortunately, it took them all weekend to
get there,
be able to do it.
Yeah.
But that last race was actually really cool to watch. But a couple of bingles throughout the weekend for all of the categories, the sport ones.
Yeah, well, that Mustang from New Zealand hit. I believe it was 292 kilometres an hour. Now I know for a fact that there's been on iRacing, depending on your setup, your wing, how much draft you've got coming down Conrod, you probably have hit on similar, maybe a little bit more, maybe 95, 97 or something like that. But man, that thing was out of the draft and just hanging past people on the outside, and just see you later. Like, do you know what? I'd actually love to see that thing up against that maroon Skyline that come up a couple of years back from Tasmania. Can't think of his name, who brought it over here, but didn't go across the top very well. But it went down the straights bloody quick.
Yeah. The sound it made too. The sound it made was awesome.
Yeah.
Skyline.
So, I think I'm with you, Trent. I think the support categories that they had on board were spot on. Porsche Cup, can't go wrong with. Always a great series to watch. A really good parity formula. We're going to get into some of them, aren't we? Really good parity formula, like same car, same tyres, same engine. Suspension is tunable, but I believe it's only dampening, realistically. I'm not sure about spring rates. I don't think so. So it's a very, very strict formula parity formula. Get your words around the right way, Scott. Parity formula, and the decider is the driver behind the wheel. Like
that's what you want out of a series. Is you don't want to be talking about a budget or any advantage a particular car or team might have. It's all about the driver. Some people don't like those parity formulas. Formula One is their peak because it's about the team rather than about the driver. In my experience, I've always enjoyed the parity formulas where everything's pretty much equal, and a lot of it's down to the driver. Yeah, it was interesting. I'm going to kind of jump across here a little bit. So, obviously, World Endurance Challenge and GT3 series across the world in terms of SRO run events obviously run a balance of performance, which some companies don't like because they're like, why should we be pinged? And it's kind of like, well, you want to keep the racing as tight as possible, and I think they've all come to accept it and actually been quite happy about it. And I think at the very start it was a lot of sandbagging, and I definitely remember
a conversation actually with Garth at the Bathurst 12 hour of he was saying that when they first started coming over as an SRO event, he was like, you were told, don't go fast, and that was where the BOP, so balance of performance, and for those of you watching or listening, watching now or listening later, it's a balance of performance. So if a car is deemed to be going exceptionally too fast over the rest of the field, a trim is put either in the tune or the restrictor plate for the inlet, and the car's slowed effectively. So yeah, back in the day they used to do a lot of sandbagging, and the balance of performance was agreed prior to the event, and obviously they came across the sandbagging, and so the balance of performance then was introduced post qualifying, which was, it was qualifying and then the next day you went into race. So there was a balance of performance adjustment done overnight. Nothing you can do about it now because the next day's your race. So you can't sandbag anymore. Which I think it's been positive for that series. But yeah, just I guess, a bit of difference between what we're talking about with a parity formula being, whether it's the Porsche Cup, Supercars itself. You don't really hear of it though, Trent. And we touched on support categories. So I'm still kind of on that bandwagon there with the Super 2 though. Like you don't hear of anything of certain team or certain brand of car has an advantage over the other through Super 2. There's not even a mention of it anywhere.
I think that's because it's already gone through the main game and all the parity talks, etc. in there, so it's kind of resolved, and now it's just assumed that that's the norm. Like, that's now it's all done and dusted. But having said that, the Tickford Mustangs absolutely dominated weekend. Like, they were just on another level, it seemed, to the rest of the field.
And I think...
Yeah.
So go on.
Yeah, I think that, because, obviously when that Mustang first come in, parity was a massive, massive talking point, as it always is when there's a new car. And we saw all the changes to the Mustangs, and then they found the centre of gravity changes, which affected all the cars. And I think it just got to a point in that formula that, all right, we think we're happy. And he did kind of... didn't really hear much parity talk towards the end of life of them cars. So I'd suggest that's probably why you're not hearing anything now about Super 2, because it's been settled that it's pretty good. Yeah.
I guess it's a case of, if you want to go into that series, go choose your car. Completely up to you what you want to run, but you're going to drive what you're given in terms of, we're not making any adjustments and stuff here. Like you said, it's already been, I guess, done, dusted. So there should be no need.
Jono Webb with his car, he wanted to drive at Bathurst, and he just called up his mate. He's like, "Oh, what have we got that I can drive?" Yeah. So he didn't really even choose a car. He just said, "Oh, yep, I've got a Mustang here. We'll prep it for you, and off you go racing." So that's what he did.
Yeah. Would he have not gone if he was given a Commodore though?
I don't think so. I think he would have just gone in whatever he was given.
Yeah.
Like, he just wanted to race. That was all it was. He just give me something. Oh, I want to go racing. Like, what do you got?
And I guess is then, we're kind of jumping a little bit here, but that's what we do, right? That's what we love about this show. Is it a case then of people getting into Super 2 and be like, I don't necessarily need to win a championship or win every race or get on a podium every race for people to notice who I am on track, to notice me, like in the bigger game, the main game guys go, oh, hang on, this guy's fast. He might not have the wins on board, or he might be coming fourth in the championship, but he just does so many things right off the track, on the track,
think it's
sponsors
still
and stuff.
I do believe there is a hierarchy in Super 2. So like Tickford, obviously massive budget, and they're at the front of the field. You got was it Eggleston?
Eggleston, yeah.
Motorsport. They've always been at the front of that formula. They're just really strong.
Yeah. WAU now
got those two.
as well.
Was that?
WAU, Walkinshaw, Andretti,
Yeah.
United, yep.
So you've got these teams that are running at the front. But I think if you're in like more of a privateer type team at the back, but you're still getting results, that's probably going to get you noticed. But if you're just there really to just have fun, which there probably will be some drivers in that field that are just there that I've got a budget, I've got a car, I'm racing in this series.
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to. Whereas I think if you do actually want to make it in that category, I think you've got to be with the likes of Tickford or Eggleston or WAU.
Yeah. Yeah. So we kind of, got a bit sidetracked, didn't we? That's okay. We're still talking about the good. The good. Just to keep everybody along the line of what's going on. So, yeah, man, to me, overall, in terms of the event, I was fortunate enough to have Foxtel and did record, and then got home from work on Thursday and watched. Not going to lie, worked from home on Friday. It's one of my perks of my job, and it was on in the background. So, definitely watched that. And then, of course, Saturday, Sunday is just religious, right? Like, if you're not watching it, I don't know, you're probably not really into motorsport that much. But, yeah, the good, awesome crowd figures, like we said, 5.5 million TV viewers. I think it's rating third in 2025, third in Australian sporting events TV coverage. I think it was.
Yeah, I've seen different numbers because it had it above the NRL Grand Final, but I've seen other numbers that had the NRL Grand Final ahead of it, as well as the AFL Grand Final. But either way, like 5.5 million is. And to be up there as the third, like you said, the third, or whatever number they are, but it looks like they're third. Very impressive, very... and I guess viewers were treated with a very special race. Like, that weather really mixed things up, and it really made the racing quite interesting.
Well, it was epic, right? It was epic.
It was, yeah. Like, was really watching right at the end there. Like, the last of the race, really. Like, the first half got a bit boring, which we might touch on shortly, but after that rain came, and it was really hit and miss in the middle there. I think the way the rain came is no one knew what tyre to be on, and then some teams made the right call, some teams didn't, and I think that
some made three calls, didn't they?
Well, yeah, that's true. Come in, change your tyres. Whoops, no, change your back. Whoops, no, change your back again. But yeah, so those teams at the front, they just nailed everything. Like they had the right drivers to match the right conditions. They had the right car, and they had the right strategy calls.
Yeah, so you got to look at this in terms of Supercars have to be looking back at that and going, that was one of our best Bathurst 1000s within history. I'm going, not just Supercars, but Australian Touring Car Championship. The V8 Supercars, which was a Vesco, I think, from memory.
Vesco.
That just, you're right. I think there was so much. Nobody knew that they could put their hand on the table and it was going to be wet, or was it going to be dry? No one knew. Nobody could read the weather thing and go, yeah, we know 100% we're going to get rain. No, you didn't.
They knew it was coming, they just didn't know when. And the way it came, it really was like it rained a bit and then it didn't, and it rained a bit and it didn't, and then it kind of just slowly come in, and then you saw by the end of the race, like the track was soaked. Like, it took a long time to get to that point. Yeah. Like, so it really left a lot of teams second guessing about what to do.
Yeah. I think in stark contrast, you look at last year's race, and holy crap, borefest. Absolute borefest. And even, like, I grew up, my one weekend of sitting down and watching TV and not moving was Bathurst 1000. That was my weekend. And I've noticed over probably the last 5 years, not including this year, but I reckon the last 5 years I've been, screw it, I'll go to the shop or I'll go do something else and I'll come back and I'll have a glance at it and like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. 5 years is probably a bit much, probably the last 3. But I just found myself drifting away from it and being like, you know, if I'm back for the last hour, then awesome kind of thing.
Yeah, like the races, like they've had 2 cars at the top that have sort of battled out towards the end, which is why I think this race was good, because it had like 4 or 5 cars right at the end. That like any one of those cars could have won the race in the end. Like top 5 battle after 1,000 Ks and almost 7 hours of racing is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, technically more, because if you think about the safety car restart, the first car lap down was not Feeney. Would it have been the Monster Energy? Would have been the first of the lap down in the lineup, which I think would have been maybe back down to like 15th kind of.
I think they were
area.
Yeah, I know the 6 car got up to 9th, I think, at one point, and then
who was that?
The number 6, the Monster.
Oh yeah.
And then he threw it off the track at some point and lost a bunch of spots. I was really surprised to see Feeney get back up to, I think, finish 6th in the end, which was pretty impressive considering I sat in the wall
when a lap down.
2 laps, yeah. So the lap while cars went past him.
Yeah.
So it's almost a case of what could have been for them, obviously, like if they had that sort of speed to get back to 6th place.
Yeah, good speed. I guess cars around you as well. Who were they, and what happened to them? That kind of thing. We'll touch on that, I think, in a bit as well. But to me, I was literally hand up, massive Garth Tander fan. So not going to say number 1 fan, but I'm pretty sure I'm in his top 10. For me, yeah, that was on the edge of your seat stuff, because my enjoyment of wanting to see Garth and Matty Payne win just added like to the whole scenario, like the whole last 5 laps, 6 laps, whatever it was. You know, them Cooper Murray getting past, Golding then also getting past, and then I was kind of like, 5 laps to go, he's still got time to get back up. And the good thing was Cooper and Golding battling was able to bring that back, much like it did Reynolds when Golding and Payne were battling. Like Reynolds just out of nowhere, oh g'day, I'm like literally on your bumper kind of thing.
Yeah, he was on a tear.
But yeah, just added massively to the whole event. Like I said, one of the best races of Bathurst I think I've ever seen. I think it will go down in the history books as one of the best, and I have no qualms with that if that's the case.
Well, it must have been pretty good because we're doing this episode. Yeah. But this wasn't planned.
It wasn't, yeah. Yeah.
I think it was finalised yesterday. Hey, let's do a show. Like, yeah, cool, okay. And so here we are. Like, because it's just so much we have to talk about from it, and yeah, we've still got so much to cover. So we should probably.
We've already been on half an hour, mate. Yeah. Well, I was about to say, we got a comment in the chat there from Magpie. Pretty wicked for our Aussie races getting that much attention, and they're right. Like, social media has blown up about this literally since Sunday afternoon, and like you just touched on, Trent, big enough that we've jumped on and done a special episode, and yeah, so I think that is awesome for the young guys and for the Aussies. And I think one of the other things that was telltale about the event that also made it very special was good old Chazzy Mostert, and unfortunately having an engine expire. Sounds like it could have been similar situation that Ryan Wood had come with his car. I think we've got a bit of a mentioning point about that down the track. But yeah, seeing Mozzie have a beer on the side of the track with some of the fans was pretty Aussie. It doesn't get much more Aussie than that. Could have been a better beer, I have to admit. But anyway, like
I do love the way they were trying to get him in the car, and he's like, "No, I'll be right." And I'm going, He went straight over, and
that was great. That was great.
The way he interacted with the fans out there too, like that was pretty cool.
Do you know what though? I got to admit here, respect to the fans too, though, that gave him his space. He put that helmet, mate, on a table and walked.
Walked away.
I don't know how. I reckon 20, 30 meters away from it. Now, I guarantee you that if it wasn't the crowd that it was, that thing would have been gone, nabbed, never to be seen again. Somebody would have hoiked it and just run off. And so, well done to the supporters and the crowd for doing that. It gave him his space. Obviously, not the most ideal situation to be in for him. Nothing he can do. Jump the fence. Let's have a beer, and call it a day. And also then hung around to the rest of the race as well, which I know that there's some supercar commentators which have our race is done. I'll just go get a helicopter and leave. It's some pretty good support for your team that work in and out day and night for you. But
exactly. No, hang around and you support your team. Like he obviously was supporting Ryan Wood as well until he had his unfortunate end to the race.
Yeah, I agree. Righto, Trent, the bad.
The bad. Actually, the ugly.
Yeah, maybe point 4, maybe line 4 there is more the bad, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
All right, let's go the ugly. We'll reverse it around a bit. The ugly.
Yeah.
Lead us off.
So the elephant in the room that really come to light was obviously the parity issue between the engines. I didn't realise myself how big an issue. Obviously, watching the races recently, you can tell, but I didn't realise it was actually something that's been on Ford's radar for a long period of time. I'm not a massive Brodie Kostecki fan, but I did like the way he come out and he just spoke his mind. That doesn't really happen a lot in supercars. Everyone nice and polite, and they toe the brand line. They really don't step outside it. It took SVG to leave before he even really sort of come out and started criticising bits and pieces. So I did enjoy that Brodie come out and he just spoke his mind. He didn't make things up. He used factual data, which was Supercars' own report, that there was a variance.
Craig Haystead?
Pardon?
Craig Haystead, is it? Craig Haystead? Haystead Engines or something, I think? Producer, sorry, go on.
Yeah, so they did the testing. Supercars came out and said, yep, we've highlighted there's a discrepancy between the engines. Ford are down on power. Here's a fix that we'd like to put forward. And then it was blocked. But I think the other disappointing thing is not a single representative of Supercars acknowledged the existence of that report. They just wanted to
flush over
bag out Brodie and making it about qualifying. 100% qualifying was amazing. It was so close. And that's where people are getting confused about, well, if there's this engine disparity, why are they so close in qualifying? Like, there's no issue. But qualifying and race are two very different circumstances, and that's something that people either don't understand or they're too ignorant to understand and don't want to.
Yeah.
And it's just very, and it was quite obvious in the opening into that race, the way those Camaros moved forward was ridiculous. Like, they were passing the Mustangs like they were standing still. Supercars is probably lucky the rain came.
The equaliser? The equaliser of everything, rain, yeah.
Yes, rain's always a good equaliser. But yeah, the way Brody, how he probably could have handled himself a little bit better. But he was very just upfront about it. He was just in your face, and I think that's just Brody. I think that's just who he is. Like, to find out after the fact, like, because DJR put in that protest, obviously, where the stewards have basically said, look, we can't adjudicate on this. They didn't say that there's no merit to it. They just said, look, it's not up to us. We can't change anything.
Who said that? Supercars.
The stewards. So DJR put in a protest on the Saturday.
Yep.
And they came back and said, yeah, look, this isn't our jurisdiction. It's not something we can change. And then DJR put out the statement later that afternoon, or later evening, and said that, yep, it was declined. The steward said this. And then they put out the facts of that report, which was there's a 10 horsepower deficit above 5,900 RPM, which happens to be 94% of the full throttle application around Bathurst, which is pretty significant.
Yeah.
Like, and that obviously equated to the differentials down the straights, which became more obvious in the race than in qualifying. It's... And they still...
Do we want to...
whatever his name is, he, even after the event, he was asked specifically about it, and he still just sort of fobbed it off and did not mention anything about it, and just said, oh yeah, look, no, there's nothing to talk about there.
So let's break it down a bit into, like, I guess, talking point sections. So we understand that at altitude, the Mustang loses power to the effects of 10 horsepower per engine. When they're at sea level, it's equal. So my understanding, and I watched Lucky Dogs, which is the Brody and Will show, and they touched on this a bit in yesterday's show, that Brody came out, and it's not word for word quote here, but basically said, yep, at sea level, everything's great, not a problem. However, if we go to a track like Bathurst, where it's at altitude, we are losing horsepower. So he's saying that, you know, there needs to be a fix for Bathurst. So kind of puts us into what we were talking about, not, you know, only a few minutes ago, with, is it worth then that at the start of the season, here's your sign off from both teams in terms of a parity, right? So you've created a parity formula. However, we now have a balance of performance within that parity formula, right?
Well, even then, it's still not a balance of performance, because balance of performance is more around, you might be faster in corners but the other car's faster on the straights. So the overall lap time is going to be near identical, but there is a difference performance between each car. Whereas Supercars is a technical parity formula, so that each car, engine, etc., is meant to be identical power, identical torque curves. Everything about the whole formula is supposed to be the same, rather than a balance of performance.
Yeah.
And I think, and Ford have been trying to get this barometric testing done for 2 years. 2 years have been trying to get it done, and Supercars finally do it, and for some stupid reason, do it right before Bathurst and release the results on the Wednesday before Bathurst. Like, this, the storm that was raised, I believe, is Supercars' own doing. Like, either don't do the testing, or wait until the end of the year, or something. Like, don't do it on the eve of Bathurst, because you know what's going to happen. The GM teams are going to go, yeah, no, sorry. Because there's some rule around the racing charters and whatnot, that if 70% of the season has been completed, you need 100% of the teams to agree to a change to the technical parity rules.
Teams or manufacturers?
The teams.
Okay.
100% to do with the RECs, the racing contracts, whatever they're called.
Racing entitlements
So,
contract, yeah, those old chestnuts.
yeah, those things, yeah.
Yep.
So every single one of those have to agree to the change. GM teams obviously did not agree, and that's why Brody was as vocal as he was,
Yeah.
because report showed a discrepancy. A fix was put forward to fix the discrepancy, but it was then blocked. The Supercars couldn't and wouldn't implement it.
So, yeah, okay. So, why other than fuel load, wing angle, that you would run in a full race trim comparative to qualifying, if they can be equal in qualifying, why can't they be equal in race trim?
Ford, this is another argument, is people saying it's a setup issue, not the issue. So the Fords have to be set up slightly differently in order to be able to get their speed or tyre longevity. Because the Fords were kind of okay at the start of the race at the beginning of the stints, but as the stints went on, that's when the Camaros really started powering forward.
Yeah.
And a lot of that probably come down to tyre life, the way the cars are getting off the corners, that sort of stuff. And yeah, the extra weight of the car, that's obviously when you're going to notice more a power discrepancy as well.
Well, yeah.
If you're running around with the cars weighing nothing, everyone's got their wings all trimmed out. Like, I'd actually argue the Mustangs have a bit of advantage in quality, like based on what I've seen. Like, this is purely just my opinion. I've got no factual data to back that up.
Yeah.
It honestly looks like the Mustangs just, I think with the aero changes that were made at the bend, I think they're benefiting from that across the top of the mountain. And then the top speed isn't really an issue at that light a fuel setting sort of thing. So it's more in the race for that reason.
So could we say, and keeping in mind Bathurst, so could we say that start of a stint, we're still the same horsepower down, because that hasn't changed. Yep. Our fuel load level has gotten higher or heavier. Our setup is adjusted accordingly. But what we're having to do is drive so hard with a less horsepower engine with a heavier car on the same size tyre, and therefore at the start of the race to keep competitive where tyre degradation is occurring, right? Let me continue here. So tyre degradation is happening where the Camaros don't have to work as hard at the start of a stint to be at the same pace, even with the same amount, with a full load of fuel, heaviest they're going to be, race trim. We're going to call it race trim because it is. And so therefore their speed towards that, from that middle to end of stint, is actually better because their tyre deg is less because they haven't had to work so hard at the beginning. Like kind of interesting analogy or thought process, but
if we go back to the beginning of this gen of car, that was one thing the Mustangs battled with from the get-go, was tyre life. And that come down to what has now been shown. There was a variance, so they had less downforce than what the Camaros had, so they're chewing up their tyres faster.
Yep.
But to be able to get that speed out of the car, they had to set them up a certain way to be able to drive fast, but then it would just wear out the tyres too quickly.
Yeah.
So that's what was happening in the first year of the series. So I think, like, credit where credit's due, like, they're two completely different shaped cars, two completely different architecture of engine. To get them as close as they have is pretty good. But obviously, I think the bugbear is that Ford have been trying to have this test done for 2 years. They said, look, we are down on power. The last two Bathurst, you can see that. It was obvious to see. And then I think it just justifies now that they were right, which means, I guess, moving forward into next year, that change should go into effect into the rules, because it doesn't need really the sign-off of everybody. It can be written into the rules that said at Bathurst for this high altitude running, there will be this change to the Ford engine. One thing people were also confusing were they thought it was just the mountain, that they were like Mount Panorama itself is where they were getting the issue. Like, so what do they want to do? Change from the bottom of the hill to the top of the hill? Like, how are they supposed to do that? But they had to explain.
Spare seat guy on his laptop.
The whole town of Bathurst is 650 meters above sea level, so the whole place is elevated, and that's the issue. I get the difference between the top of the mountain and the bottom is bugger all. It's like 100 meters or something. But it's the fact that
something.
It's the fact that it's 650 meters above sea level. That's the issue.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, well, I can't say I noticed this one or not. I'm going to say I noticed Camaro is going past a Mustang down Conrod. I noticed that. Happy with that one. Did a Mustang past another Mustang going down Conrod?
I don't think they did. Well, actually, I'm sure there was. So I swear, I don't know if I'm making this up in my head. I swear I read something that before the rain, there were 71 passes on Mustangs by a Camaro. There was one pass by a Mustang on a Camaro.
And how many Mustangs passed a Mustang, though?
I didn't see that number.
That would be I reckon would be an interesting stat to find out, because if you've got identical car and it still can't get past the car in front of it with a slipstream kind of thing, that's even a bigger concern. Is it pulling out and just hitting a wall? Like, is that what's going on? That would be an interesting stat. I wonder if we can. I don't know if we would be able to find one or not, but that'd be an interesting stat to try and find out.
Yeah,
I reckon.
Maybe I'll Google it, see what happens.
And I think so. I want to touch on the Supercars side of this, and not Supercars in terms of the business, but more the commentary team. So I'm going to call them the Fox Sports commentary team, right?
Yeah.
Just so that we're clear about who we're talking about. And, you're right. It was when it suited them, they tried to make a deal about it. And the person they spoke to, DJR driver that they spoke to, was very capable of answering the questions that were getting thrown at them regarding it. And almost, to me, it was almost like a very baited interview towards Brodie, right?
Yeah.
It seemed very baited in terms of we're going to try and prove you wrong here, and Brodie's not a dumb guy. Like, I don't know how many people actually know about his family business, but his family business, Kostecki Racing Engines over here in Perth, they used to be one of the big and prominent engine builders, not only in Perth, but Australia, to the point that Stone Brothers Racing back in the day, BABF, used to have their blocks machined by Kostecki Racing Engines. You don't just send that kind of work to any Joe Blow, right? So he's been around motorsport his whole entire life. He went over to America in the Acra series, I think it is. And for him to learn and develop, he needed to know the ins and outs of the cars, the ins and outs of the engines on performance and how they worked and how to get the most out of it. And I think that's a testament to how he operates today. He delves into that side of it. He's not just like, I'll turn up because it's my job just to drive a car. No. Do you know what it reminds me of? Reminds me of Days of Thunder, Cold Trickle. I don't have the vocabulary like I don't have the vocabulary to tell you what the car's doing. Brodie has the vocabulary. He has the understanding. He is the Harry Hogg of drivers in supercars, right? He knows his stuff. So, and then there was other commentary from a lead commentary person. It's like, oh, I don't know how you can do that. You know, this was blah, blah, blah. And Trent, you're right. And this is where it comes down to. Like, the qualifying and the race, vastly different. Why? I don't have the technical knowledge as to like why. I can go read about it and hope that the information that's being provided is accurate and correct. But I don't fully I don't fully understand as to like them, you know, why it's happening. I've heard of turbo engine cars and stuff like that losing power at high altitudes and whatnot. However, I've also heard of cars back in the day with horsepower heroes over here in WA pulling massive figures at the tyres, like, you know, 1600 plus, and they go over to some of that at Canberra, don't know what that is above sea level, but is definitely not, it's not at sea level, good old Canberra, and they would be pulling in figures like, you know, 1200, and you're like, where's all my power gone? All I've done is take my car from one side of Australia to the other and put it on the dyno, and now I'm losing, you know, 300 or 400 horsepower.
Thinner atmosphere, less air getting into the engine.
Yeah.
Which is one thing to point out as well. That same report did say that the Chevy engine was down on power, lower in the rev range. So the Fords had a little bit of an edge in the low range, but absolutely lost it at the top. But
I'm sorry, but when are you in the low rev range? What, coming out of your pit box?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, as I said before, like 94% of the lap is spent above 5,900 RPM at full throttle.
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous amount of time above that range.
Yeah. So look, I think from that side, I think it's going to be very interesting what comes of it. I think it's going to be interesting as well how and what Triple Eight do next year, because obviously they would have been one of the teams that said we're not signing off on this, and guarantee had the shoe been on the other foot, they would have been, hang on a minute, something's not right here. And I think,
they would have.
And do you know what? What team's not though? What team? Yeah. If you had a Holden, if you had a Chevy cap on, you'd be like going, nah, screw them, kind of thing.
It's nothing to see here. Like I have to say, JW in that press conference where Zeki's dropping bombs, like he took a very diplomatic to say, look, like I'm not commenting on that until after the weekend. Like, thought that was a pretty good way to handle it. It's like, look, I'm here to discuss it. Obviously, because they are moving to Ford, so he's got to balance that. Yeah. Like, he's a driver, but he's still team principal, whatever it is. He needs to be careful what he says.
Yeah.
And at least for all the conspiracy theories online, Triple Eight will get it all sorted next year. Like, once they're Ford, Supercars will give it to them. It's not quite what it's like, but they'll change it, not because Triple Eight's moving to Ford, but because they can't change that rule mid-season, but they can change it for the start of the next season, so it can be there. Yeah. It's not happening because of Triple Eight. It's just a coincidence Triple Eight happens to be moving to Mustang when they make this rule change.
Yeah. Do you think as well, though, that if that rule comes into place, it'll be good timing with having the Toyota coming on board as well?
I think so. I think in Supercars' defense, because the cars are so different in their platforms and their engine architecture and all that sort of stuff, there's certain things they probably didn't know they need to test. So they can go, oh, look at this, like our RPM, the power and torque curves are near identical within 1% across the entire rev range.
Yeah.
Cool. They probably didn't think to test for atmospheric conditions. like Ford, yes, were lobbying for it, but it's just not one of those things that they would have thought of at the time. Like with the previous generation with the center of gravity checks, like that wasn't something that was on their radar until the season had started. So because it's a technical parity formula, it's really hard to keep everyone happy. Like, you're not going to keep everyone happy. Someone's going to feel that they're aggrieved, and someone's going to know, oh yeah, I've got an advantage, I'm not going to say anything. Like, it's just going to happen. But I think they just could have handled it better and acknowledged that report and not given Brody the hard time saying, oh, what's he whinging about? Look, he qualified first, he's got nothing to sook about. But I thought that I don't think that was a good approach from Supercars to take.
Yeah. Probably could have been handled a little bit more professionally from that manner.
Yeah.
And it's again, it's not even Supercars though, is it? It's the commentary team.
Yeah.
In terms of like the on-air stuff that we saw, was the commentary team. Did Supercars do all they could do? I guess we don't actually really know. At the end of the day, if it's in the contract for the 2025 season that it's got to be signed off by all teams, etc., and it wasn't, well, Supercars have enacted that agreement. Could they have stepped in and gone, we're aware it's now 3 years, we've got this bit of paper. I don't know. I don't know what legal ramifications could have come from that, if it's part of the contract and that may be what they're having to protect. You don't want to see a race finish and then, oh yeah, well, we'll see you in court because you didn't follow the contract that's written, and they were given now another 10 horsepower and blitz the whole field. You know what I mean? Like, it's something we don't know. We can't quantify it. We don't know about it because it didn't happen. But it kind of raises the question, I guess, in that sense. So which is okay.
Okay.
What have we got next, mate?
Penalties during the race versus post race.
Yeah.
What is there anything specific you were referencing this to?
Golding, crossing the line in first. Here's your 5-second penalty.
Technically, the penalty was in race and not post race, but
okay. So no. So hear me out on this. So the pictures that I've seen of cars coming across the line and fireworks going off are all of the Premier car.
Yeah.
The Premier Racing Isuzu, whatever it was, car. Right? And then in the background, it's the actual trophy winner of the event. So I'm not a fan of post-race penalties.
What's the alternative?
Well, you can serve a penalty, right, while you're doing a pit stop. Correct?
Yes.
So you're still having to drive through the pit lane and do all that, plus your 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So why can't they enact, you've still got to go into the pit lane, sit in your box for 5 seconds and then leave?
Because that's a drive-through penalty then.
Yeah.
Much harsher than a simple 5-second penalty.
But it's not, because you're serving your 5 seconds when you're coming into the pit lane anyway.
Well, yes, but in this instance, like, there was 5 laps to go. There's no pit stop.
What? So can you cover off the 5 seconds before the race finishes? Yes, I can, because I still have enough laps to go into the pit lane, do my 5 seconds, and come back out.
But then you're losing all that pit lane time.
So then why? So okay, so I get a 5-second penalty in the middle of the race. I'm not going to serve it until the end. I'll just keep driving around, and then I'll serve it at the end.
I don't know how the rule is written. You could probably do that. It'd be a pretty stupid thing to do, but you could probably do that. I But maybe something like a redress would have sufficed, like make him drop back behind Cooper, rather than that 5 second. That way, the penalty is implemented within the race.
Yeah, but the problem with that though is he thought he wasn't in the wrong. So automatically the team's not going to go redress it. And then by the time you've got the penalty, you can't go, I'll just redress it anyway.
I mean, Supercars go, instead of a 5 second penalty, we want you to fall behind the 99 car. Could have done that. Easily could have done that. Then the real winner of the race would have crossed the start-finish line, or the finish line actually, with all the crap going on, the sparklers and whatnot, fireworks, blah, blah, and the pictures and everything would have been of the true winner of the race. Yep. So, yeah. There is no scope in the rules for that, though. The rule is 5 second penalty, and it's just applied either post-race or during a pit stop. So it would probably require a rewriting of the rules and the implementation of how penalties are issued in order to be able to do that.
Which is fine, but I just think it's got to be something they've got to look at, right? Because what's to stop somebody being in second place on the last lap, turn one? Oh, look, there's a little knock, but I'm 10 seconds up the road and I've only got a 5 second penalty to serve.
Yeah. Like, that's quite possible.
Absolutely.
Which I think would be pretty shit. But, even during the race, Randall copped a 5 second penalty for punting. Who did he hit? Cam Hill, maybe? Or someone like that? McLeod. He hit that car, and instead of backing out and sort of falling back in behind to avoid a penalty, he took the 5 second penalty and he took off up the road.
What's his name? What's his name? The other Penrite car. It was into the last turn. Yeah. Yeah, one of them. Yeah. And he gave him a punt. Yep.
And
just drove off
up the road. Yeah. He'd saved more than 5 seconds by just giving him a shove, and off he went.
To me, it can't be that hard for Supercars to go, you've got 3 laps to give that position back. I think even 3. I reckon 3 laps is too long. On the completion of the lap you're on, you've got 2 laps to give it back, unless you've just started the lap.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you've got the whole lap to do it. So there's your first one, 2 laps. And don't tell me that you can't pull off somewhere on the racing line, and allow a car to come past.
Yeah.
And if that's let other cars past, well, guess what? Too bad on you, mate. Shouldn't have done the crime.
Yep. It'd be good if they could implement like a sort of like MotoGP, like a long lap penalty sort of thing, so they can just serve it for the race. It's not a drive-through, so you're not losing 30, 40 seconds.
Where would you put that at Mount Panorama?
Well, that's the thing. Is like, I don't know where you would put it, but yeah, like it's a shame that they can't implement something like that, or even particular zone on the track where they say this is your penalty zone. You have to slow down to pit speed, drive at pit speed for the 5 seconds, and then take back off again. I don't know how they can.
I honestly think.
I don't know how to fix what you're talking about. I honestly don't know how they can fix that.
I just think my scenario around it was, if there's time in the race for the penalty to be served, you have to serve it. No, and not have this finish the race and then we'll add it to you. So you're back there, but I was the first car that crossed the line. There is nothing stopping that Peter Gibberius, I think it is, it's something like that. Anyway, the Premier team going to court and providing evidence, going, here's some scenarios where he didn't get a penalty. Oh, great. Well, no worries. We've now won Bathurst.
Yes, there is. Because there's a precedent set from the Jamie Whincup, Garth Tander, Scotty McLaughlin incident back in 2019. Yeah. So he got the penalty in race
Who did?
Pretty severe, like 15 JW. Whincup got like a 15-second
Yes, he
penalty
did.
or something.
Yep.
And he crossed the line like 10 seconds up the road. He was way ahead.
Yep.
And they didn't win. Triple Eight tried to protest the penalty, but the rulings are you cannot protest an in-race penalty. Had the race finished and stewards went, you know what, we're going to apply a penalty post-race, you can't do this. But because the
They
penalty
could have
was
fought
applied
that.
during the race, because the penalty was applied during the actual race, during the event, it's not protestable.
Right.
So they wouldn't be able to protest that penalty because it was issued during the race.
Yeah. Do you know what, mate? Thought we would have had a bit more interaction tonight on the old chat.
It's a bit of a shame.
Bit disappointed. Hopefully our listeners will go back. Oh, well, Magpie is still around. What have we got here? Gran Turismo 7. Oh, 7. Penalty system could work since there is no set zones around tracks that you slow down in for however long the penalty.
So the penalty system could work since there is set zones around the tracks that you slow down in however long the penalty is. It's been a long time since I played GT7.
Yeah, so but I think I think as well, can't you just drive through that car when they're serving that penalty? And aren't they you can, if you're somebody else, you can just drive through it or something? Like they're transparent?
Yeah, they sort of turn into a ghost,
Yeah, like you can't do that in real racing. Like that's not going to happen. So, there becomes also the point of duty of care. You've got to have a duty of care. So
that's the biggest issue.
We've got, to me, 2 laps, redress your position. There's plenty of space on the track. You come around the last corner of Bathurst and swing into the left-hand side on the inside of the track, slow down, cars go past, right, that's the one I've got to rejoin from, and off I go. And if you lose positions from it and you lose time, then sorry, mate, too bad. Like, it is what it is. Or you serve your 5 seconds at the next pit stop, right? You're still going to lose position to the cars that drove past you anyway because you're still serving the time.
Yeah.
So I think Supercars have got a couple of options there that realistically they could actually look at implementing and work instead of having wrong driver, wrong team crossing the finish line in P1. Oh, no worries, P2, you guys won because they've got a time penalty. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I think we move on to our next.
Yes. What do we got? Supercars. What can Supercars learn from the race and take to future events, rounds, etc.? So for me, Friday qualifying was the most epic qualifying I think I've ever seen in the history of the sport. Again, adding to the spectacle. And I say this because it was literally just keep throwing tyres at it. So literally they'd go out, do an out lap. They would do a qualifying lap. Some teams were able to get 2 qualifying laps in on a set, come back in the pit, another set of new tyres. Why are supercar teams having to why are supercar teams having to store used tyres in their tyre bank in specifically built temperature controlled storage facility at their facility, and then having to load them up in a truck to bring them to the track? Just give them new tyres every round.
Yeah, just give them new tyres.
If you got 3 races on the weekend, I don't know what the allocation is, but if you've got 3 races, 6 sets of tyres, because during those 3 races you've got to do a mandatory pit stop that includes tyres. Right? So 6 sets of tyres. Qualifying, 3 sets of brand new tyres. Go for your life. Use them however you want. If you want to do it and you get it all done in one, no worries. But all the other tyres come back. Done.
Playing devil's advocate, probably cost saving initiative.
But like said, it costs less to supply brand new tyres than it does to run this stupid storage facility
I think they do less of it now than they used to. I know they used to, like, they'd keep tyres for like 2 years or something stupid because they had barely worn, so they used to keep them for that long. I don't think it's as big as it used to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, just give them new tyres
Right.
every round. Just give them the extra new tyres that they need. Because, like I said, that qualifying session was something special
Wasn't
to
it?
watch. Like, it really...
You had no idea who top 10, top 15, top 5, who was going to get pole. No idea.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
to me, I was kind of looking at it going, holy crap, like, Feeney done his lap and he didn't better his time. I'm like, that's it, he's done. He's done. And then literally, dying moments, he stayed on it, second lap on new tyres, boom, pole position in the normal qualifying, not the top 10. He was on pole, wasn't he?
No, he was
second.
You're thinking of the final practice, where he
was second. Second in qualifying. Yeah.
I think he was.
Yeah, because he went out before Brody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in the final practice session was the same. Like, it was, again, people throwing tyres at it right at the end, and he did that one, like, he crossed the line with like a second to go to be able to top that session at the end, because that's when they were doing their top 10 practice.
Yes, that's right.
It was,
Yeah.
Yeah, and he managed to get it on his second run.
What else can they learn? Well, they can't fix the weather, but it sure makes what's Bernie Eccleston's sprinkler system idea
Throw the sprinklers on.
pretty good when you think about it. And you know, it's not only Bathurst that we've seen, you know, where they create an equaliser. Formula One's, you know, it's happened in Formula One, MotoGP. Every class of motorsport, you add rain, you add thrills, spills, and epic races or epic events. So, have you gone to sleep? Your eyes are closed.
I'm looking down.
Oh, okay. So, to me, like, you know, there's a lot of stuff that supercars can't control. You know, they can't control, and that's fine. But yeah, the new tyre bank is just a no-brainer to me. It's a no-brainer, and you know, how many times we watch Bathurst and you hear co-drivers, oh, it'd be great to get out on a new set of tyres. I've got to drive around on these old dodgy things, and you know, nobody knows what they're like. Mate, you will know pretty quick if somebody's put on a set of fresh green tyres. Actually, I do have another thing. Why not have up on the totem board thing what tyres they're on? Even the commentary team had no idea. Is he on wets? Oh, I don't know if he's on wets. Crossed down to him. Yeah, he went out on wets. Oh, well, would have been nice to see it on the display screen of each car and its number and what tyres they're on.
When Frosty binned it, there was speculation he was on slicks at the time, but it was actually on wets.
No
one really knew.
He wouldn't have got that out of there if he was on slicks. No way.
Because he came in to change to wets, then change to slicks, and then change back to wets
again. Which, that one's down the line, but we'll touch on that. Yeah. So, look, to me, that's probably two things: tyres and the totem board. And no, I do have a third. I just thought of it. Commentary team, get your shit together. The amount of piss poor calls of, oh, Waters is in the car. You literally just saw him in his garage. He was literally taking his helmet off. Mustang's gone up Mountain Straight. Oh yeah, Waters is behind the wheel. Blah blah. No, he's not. It's Winterbottom. Look, what are you on? Like, I found that really, really poor this year from the commentary team. They really need to do something with that, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
What do you got? A comment here in the old chats from Chris Kessie. I was at McPhilly freezing my ass off watching a cracking race and drinking plenty of beers. That's all we like to hear, Chris. Good on you. I think the rain evens up the parry a bit. Yeah, we touched on that a bit earlier in terms of the equaliser of everything. Rain is 700 horsepower, isn't it? Every car can do a skid when it's raining.
Yeah, exactly.
Must be raining horsepower.
Yeah, liquid horsepower.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's all right, mate. Thanks for getting me up to date with the series goss. It's a place to come to, hey?
We're probably making half of it up as we go along.
I don't know. I think we've done a bit of research. I think
like grain of salt.
So yeah, let's wrap that one up. So tyres, fresh bank of tyres, 100%. Totem pole with the tyres and what they're on. Maybe even have up there like how many laps they've been on it. Like give us some of that data. And commentary team, need to lift your game. That was appalling in terms of not knowing who was in the car, making the wrong calls. I swear he said one time that it was Payne in front of somebody and it was Kai Allen. Fair enough, different car, but come on, man. I'm watching it at home, the same thing you're watching, I knew exactly who it was.
You knew what was going on, yeah. I do remember that call.
Yeah.
All
right. What we got next is... So this one's very relative to us, more so than anything, I think, and that is the sim racers really coming to the front and showed plenty, and I mean plenty of established drivers how to race in the wet. Not only how to race in the wet, how to drive and drive fast. Like...
We kind of touched on it at the beginning, how it was these young, sim racers and the young drivers were the ones that were driving, the way they were driving is just phenomenal, and it was the old hands that were throwing it off the track everywhere.
Yeah. And not necessarily old in terms of age, but old in terms of established experience within supercars, Yeah. You got Cooper Murray, rookie season in supercars, and literally, I'm going to go out and say it here, had it not been for where he got turned at turn 2, he would have run that race.
Very good chance.
Yep.
Very, very, very good chance.
Yep, I reckon he had him covered if it wasn't for the spin when he got spun at turn 2.
I was gutted for them. I thought that they were going to get up.
Yeah.
And the move from Golding really wasn't on. But he had his shot and he shot it. And he missed.
Would you not have? If you were in that seat, would you not have had a crack? Of course you would have. Anybody who turns around and says that they wouldn't have, get off the globe. Like, seriously. Like, you would have had a shot. You would have had a shot.
He shot his shot and it missed.
Yeah. But to me, 2 key points. So, and not just Cooper Murray. Payne is on iRacing, I know that. Joe Stewart. You look at the lines that they were taking, especially out of turn 2, real narrow, get the car straight and point it to get up that hill, instead of kind of drifting it and then going over the crest and to the outer ripple strip, and also through the cutting, and to hear the commentary team going, "Oh, so many overtakes on the inside there at the cutting, man, we never see that before." It's like, it happens all the time on sim racing. Maybe you should, open your eyes up a little bit. And to see other drivers adapt their style of driving after seeing what these guys were doing was, you could clearly see it happening. I remember seeing Winterbottom, who was in, pretty sure Scott Pye did a bit, and and who was the guy? Who's the guy, the co-driver in the Castrol car, the 55? Moffat. Yeah, seeing guys like that, like they got overtaken, and then were following these young guys and saw the lines, and then they're doing that, and look at the massive difference. So
I think the Kiwis really on there as well. I think like every other weekend over in New Zealand, growing up, we're obviously racing in wet weather, so they're just used to it and they know the lines to take and whatnot. So
yeah,
a lot of the Kiwis like Ryan Wood.
So he was the other one I was thinking of actually. Yeah, Woody. Yep.
They they were showing that their strength in the wet.
Yeah.
When that's what you grow up with, like you're just good at it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just laughing at the comment that Chris made, and I actually remember that. I remember that very. I was like, GT just got overtaken, mate. Once again, commentary team, what are you watching? Clearly not the motor race and everybody else was watching.
Putting the pressure on. He just got past you.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, sorry, before we go on to the next thing, quick response answer here. Is it time for the commentary team to be changed?
No.
Oh, I'm a yes.
No.
Lead commentators, you've had your day. You're done. Move on.
I think Scapey can bug off. To be fair, I think he's far too
fake.
Yeah, and he really is biased. Like it's so.
Is he British F1 commentator?
Yes.
Bias? Is he that biased?
Yeah,
wow.
Crompton I like because he is a bit more around the technical and a bit more, whereas Scafe's just over the top. He exaggerates. He makes shit up as he goes.
Yeah, but Trent, you're right out sideways right now, aren't you?
Huh?
You're right out sideways right now, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Right out sideways.
Yeah.
The best operators in the business.
Yeah.
Like shit like that. Like, and his bias is clear. And like you got Larko. He's obviously a Ford guy. He does not make any excuses about being a Ford guy, but he can give credit where credit's due, sort of thing. Like he'll talk up the Camaro. Like he'll talk it up. And that's what I like about Larko. Like he's a Ford guy, heart, and he does not hide that fact at all. But I still believe his analysis and feedback is still very neutral. Whereas I don't feel Scaife has that. Plus, I don't think he brings anything to the broadcast. To be fair, I think Scaife could be replaced, but I think Crompton's still got a little bit of time left in him.
Yeah, I think Scaife. I'm down with you on the Scaife thing. I've reckoned that for years now. Crompo, I reckon I'd probably have him more back as a special guest, like come in at periods of the time, almost like they crossed, like similar they crossed Larko, kind of do, have him come and do a call for an hour or something. Let him be. Maybe he needs to be the new Jess. Maybe Crompton needs to be actually hosting the show.
Could be. I think he'd be good at that. To be honest,
I do.
think that's something he'd be good at.
Yeah.
And just going. Chris has put another comment in for the Enduros. Do what they do in cricket. Run shifts between the commentators. Not sure if they have the budget, but always thought it could be possible in the Enduros. So that's possible too, where they switch up the commentary team rather than listening to the same guys for 7 hours straight.
How long do you have? 2 hours? 2 hours each?
Probably 2 hours. Like they bring Chad Nallon in obviously for the hourly updates throughout the race, but I mean he can do more than that.
Magpie's just commented on that. Pretty sure that in WC they do that, especially like your 24-hour and 12-hour events and whatnot. The Bathurst 12 hour, I'm pretty sure, is the same commentary team. However, it's 3 guys that are doing it, so that's a bit of difference to having 2. It's quite easy for one of them to nick off for a half hour to an hour and rest the vocals. IMSA, Daytona 24, definitely a rotation shift side of things. So anyway, next. This is a little bit to do with earlier on.
Yeah.
In terms of the parity, but also who came to the front. Like, we're saying the sim races really did shine and came to the front. And I was very, very impressed with their driving. Like, to me, Cooper Murray, driver of the day. Him and Job Stewart.
Yep.
2 absolute young guns, made their steps through Porsche Carrera Cup, and Stewart's doing the Super 2 with the Erebus Academy. But Cooper, first year in the main game, and having some solid results, some weekends not, but that's just a learning thing, right? But turned up there and literally from the moment they rolled the car out, knew what they were doing, etc. So
some moves of his earlier in the year were a little like, what the heck are you doing? As you said, he's a kid, he's learning.
Yep, it's going to happen.
To step up as he did at the greatest race of the year was pretty epic. The fact that he was on for that 203 lap, I'm gutted he didn't get it.
At the final turn,
he didn't get it. I so wanted to see a 203 this year, and he got close, and then Brody was 0.04 of a second off getting a 203 in the shootout.
Yeah,
so,
his was pretty much a 204 flat, wasn't it, Brody's?
Yeah, it was a 204.041.
Yeah, and Cooper was 0.2 up on that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then threw it away.
And then threw it off the track.
But look, clearly had the pace, man, kind of thing. So, what if the rain didn't come?
I think it would have been similar to previous years, where I think the Camaros just would have floated towards the top. Those 888 cars were epic at the start of that race. They were fast.
Yeah, dry setup. Clearly a very dry setup.
I think they're probably the only ones that maybe, I'm just speculating, maybe they didn't put any sort of wet setup in and just went pure dry, because they were quick. The way Scott Pye got through the field, because they started 14th or 15th or something in the middle of the...
Yeah, it was down the order, yep.
And, he moved forward quickly.
He was on the back of Whincup coming into the first round of the pit stops, wasn't it? So that had to have been 4th or 5th.
Yeah, they were rapid, and Feeney was way off the road. I know he short-filled that first stop.
Yeah,
but he was
15
seconds off the road.
Yeah,
that. Yeah, the Triple A cars. I mentioned it in a chat I was in at the time. That was these Triple A cars are next level right now. They are. I reckon they probably would have gone on to win.
Yeah,
state dry.
And it's not that they don't know how to build a bullet of a car, right?
Exactly. Which is why I'm looking forward to them at Mustang next year.
Well, you know what? And this is what gets me a little bit is all these people say, "Oh, it's the 888 supercars and all this." It's like, mate, you're going to look like such a muppet next year, because when they're driving Mustangs, you're going to be cheering them on. Exactly. You're going to be eating your own words. It does not matter what car they are in. They will always be at the front of the field.
They've proved it time after time. Like the old saying goes, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And there's no doubt the effort and the work they put in from that team. And there's a reason why they're consistently at the top of the field.
Yep.
It's that effort. They've got the right people in the right places. Everyone working together for a common goal. I'm not a fan of 888 personally, but credit where credit's due.
Right, you got it. You have to. Yeah. You got to give it.
Yeah.
Right. probably about half an hour to go, mate. Long show.
Long show.
But that's okay. We knew it was. I had an inkling it was going to be like this, to be honest.
We'll be done and dusted in 30 minutes. We'll be all right.
Nah, no way. Quick fire questions. That doesn't happen around here, or only to our special guests. Anyway, so biggest crashes. Who you got?
Big as in epic, or big as in race changing for that particular person, I guess you could say.
Probably both. I don't think we had any epic crashes in terms of like, it was just like, I put it in a wall. I think Stanaway at the cutting, obviously put his right rear on the white line and just binned it, and had some pretty monumental pace towards the end of the race as well. I think the Premier cars were very set up for wet weather.
Yeah, Becky into the back of Kai Allen.
Sorry,
he missed his brake marker by about 50 metres, I reckon.
Do you know what? I figured out what it was. When you're driving with one hand behind your back, you can't turn and change gear at the same time.
That's it.
So he clearly couldn't downshift because he had his hand on the wheel.
He's trying to get all them extra RPM out of the engine, trying to get as much power as possible.
Yeah.
That was a proper punt. That wasn't just a tap or a love tap. That was sent him flying.
Yeah. I was actually surprised. I'll be honest, I thought that was going to do a lot more damage to Kai Allen's car. It was very cosmetic. Still can't figure out why they couldn't have cut that part off the back. It was like literally a parachute for the rest of the race. I don't know why they didn't do something about that, but so Stanaway, Brody into Kai Allen, Macaulay Jones getting punted at the elbow by Stanaway. So Stanaway probably served his own penalty there because it wasn't long after that he binned it himself.
Who rammed it into Griffin's on the outside? The 3 car, where they buckled the rim. And they drove for that for ages. Thing. I'm like, how the freak did he get away with that?
Nick Percat 2.0.
Yeah, like that was a hit and a half. And they had the onboard of the underneath the car of the wheel, and you could see the rim was buckled.
Yeah, right.
It was bent bad and shaking around everywhere, and he still drove with it for a while before they pitted. So they were lucky to get away with that one.
I wonder what actually happened to them, because they had a lot of pace in that 3/4 kind of 2/3 part of the race. Like they were hammering towards the front.
Yeah. There you go.
Aaron Cameron. There we go. Chris is on it.
Cheers, Chris. Woody was lucky to get away with that brush coming into the cutting as well, where he's brushed the wall.
Yes.
It was a pretty decent side swipe. So he was lucky to get away with that.
Yeah.
Obviously, the 6, Frosty and what's his name, Feeney, going off at the elbow. They were probably 2 big race-defining crashes for them too. Like very, very small and minor incidences. Really, like they were. But again, really mate,
the established drivers.
Yeah, they were not going quick, and it just did not turn. The cars just not turn. Brand new tyres for both of them.
Yeah, I was actually. I got to admit, I was very surprised the amount of teams that didn't just put fresh rear wets on only.
Or like the Wood car, they put the working side tyres on. They actually didn't want, because that's right. They didn't want to change the tyres at all, but because he had that hit with the wall, they were forced to change the right side tyres in the stop, because they weren't planning to do that. And I think Wingcut was mentioning that they also didn't really want to change tyres, but by the time they got to the end of the race, it would have been 3 stints done on the tyres. So they decided to change the tyres then and then do a double at the end, so that they'd have warm tyres for the end of the race. But those cold tyres is what brought out Feeney, and he went off the track. Yeah,
I would say even Winterbottom. I would say that's what sent him into the wall as well, was just because he turned, mate, and that thing just went.
like I said, he wasn't going quick. Like, he was not going fast at all.
No.
And I think he's just a little bit too far to one side, outside the tracks. Like, obviously, there's a wet line, because the car ahead of him took a very similar line. And for whatever reason, Frosty just went straight through.
So Brown's crash in at Griffin's, turn 2. Actually, kind of unsure what happened there, because it's like the thing sped up, more than it did slow down, and the way that it collected that tie barrier and just went straight through it at speed. I was listening to their show, and their show from last night, and the force on the brake pedal broke the brake pedal pad off of the pedal. There was that much force. Like, I've not heard of something like that happening before.
No, it was a really weird crash, actually. It's like, even the Mustard one in first practice, like, that looked really weird. It just locked up and just didn't stop.
Yeah. Crazy.
Went for a long one. But yeah, the brown one, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Mitch Curry, welcome to the chat. Maybe a first time live listener, viewer. Mitch does the MC Motorsports series. Good to have you on board, mate.
Mentioning that Mostert and Woody having the engine issues affected the results.
Yeah, I reckon we get to that in a little bit, because we got next up Contenders, and
that'll pull. Yeah.
I think contender wise, to me, that top, Payne and Tander, I think we're in the game all day, and I think this stems back to what they did on Thursday and Friday in terms of practice. They missed the boat, hands down. They missed the boat with qualifying, big time, right? And that's fine, but their efforts to make up for that, especially on Saturday practice, it was, we're tunnel vision here, focus, race, what do we need? And the likes of, even Tander was saying, I heard saying, guys, put in the car what you can do if I'm coming in for a stop and we need to make a change.
Yeah.
If we're in the middle of the race, put that in the car. And that's, mate, you got somebody like GT in your corner, filtering that need and desire from the team is what wins you Bathurst 1000s.
Yeah. Towards the end there, like those Golden car, he had some pace in that thing. 99 was probably a little bit slower than him, but I think he had his measure until he got punted.
I reckon across the top, the Premier car was dialed in with a more wing angle, I reckon, because the moment they got down to Forest Elbow, the 99 just gapped.
Just took off,
Yeah, it took off. And the Premier's a Camaro, so it's not like there was a horsepower thing there, right? But I reckon down and up the hill, you gapped him enough. Great, you caught up across the top. Where are you going to overtake?
Yeah.
Can't overtake across the top, right?
The problem with Bathurst, you can have a car that's good across the top. In the race, it doesn't really help you a great deal. Race is going to be one on the straights. That's where you need the advantage, is coming out of the corners and having that top end.
Yep.
That's where you need it. Unless you got some balls of steel. And there was that happening, I remember one of those restarts where Cam Waters and Kostecki are going side by side.
Oh, how good was that?
Under the tree, that was ridiculous. The fact that they left each other enough room, they didn't touch, or they... there
was the bump on coming out, but Reed Park, it's not like any of them went into the wall, right?
That was epic.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck are these guys doing? Settle down, guys.
Yeah.
But they knew what they were doing. They just had enough grip, but that was really cool. The way,
mate, that's why they get paid the big bucks.
That's it.
Yeah. So the other contenders to me, up until the next point that we're going to talk about, is Wood and Ojeda. Again, two young guys, couple of sim races as well, changing lines on the field, like different lines comparative to those established guys. Woody had pace in that car from the beginning, which really spun me out because Chaz looked like he was really having to push to match the pace of Woody. And if he put that lap in, yet a little bit quicker, but not a lot. Whereas Woody just seemed, I'm comfortable and I'm setting my lap times with relative ease, right? But I actually would have loved to have seen the number 2 on the podium. I think they were definite contenders. I
think they were definitely in for a shot at the win. 100% they were. Like, they were dominating really until that safety car, and it's when they kind of had that engine drama not long after that. So
yeah.
That was a real shame.
And I don't know if you've seen it or not, but there's a short getting around. They got the car back up and running, and mate, the whole pit garage just went nuts, like cheering the pit crew on and everything about what an epic job. Get the bonnet down, Woody's running to get back into the car and get strapped in, and they got that car back out there and finished off the race. And I think that was probably better for Woody's confidence. Not confidence, but finishing the job.
Yeah.
We've had a letdown, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to finish this race. We've overcome this obstacle, and as a team, it's now my job to get back in the car and bring the car home. So hats off to him for doing that. I reckon that was a really good sign of maturity for a young kid. Like, he's not old, and that's going to bode well for his future, Definitely.
To Mitch, there was a lot of great battles racing. A lot of great racing and battles all race. Easily the best Bathurst he's watched for years. Last year was a total snooze fest, so it was good to see the complete opposite this year. Just to add rain.
Yeah, Mitch, we've completely agree. We touched on it earlier and pretty much feel the same way, mate. So I think if you're not a non-motorsports purist, would not understand that race to say that it was boring.
Actually, even my oldest son, I think he isn't really into the V8s at all. But I did say that he watched the end of the race and he understood that that was pretty epic.
Yeah.
And my younger one was the same. He watched it and he's like, the last half hour of that race was cool. It was really cool.
Well, I'm just going to go out here and say I did record it, even though I was watching it live on good old Foxtel, and it's definitely one of those do not delete now in my recorded Foxtel folder. So
I'll just load it up on KO whenever I want and just stream it.
There you go. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be watched many times. So heartbreak stories, Wood and Ojeda, 100% heartbreak. You got to feel for those guys. Chucking this one out there because I think he'd done a magnificent job when he was in the car, and that was I've gone blank. Morris. What's his bloody first name?
Nash.
Thank you. Nash, got turned and that kind of put him back, and I think he was a bit flustered a little bit and then overshot a corner and into the last turn and put him back. But overall, I reckon he drove exceptionally well again for his first time in the main game Bathurst 1000. He, other than that last turn where he ran wide, didn't put a foot wrong. Kept it clean, gained positions, battled fairly, overtook some more established guys that are in the main game full time. I think a bit of heartbreak for him, and especially to not come back with a result in terms of he was with Stanaway and crashed out. So, yeah.
Probably Hazelwood falls in that category as well. I think he drove really well all race, and then it was just unfortunate that they had the incidences they did later in the race. Hazelwood, how he's not a main game driver, I don't know. Like he's certainly better than a fair chunk of the main guys right now.
Name one, Trent. Name one that he could easily slip into the seat of.
Who finished last? That person.
No,
honestly,
who was it? Who finished last?
Actually, I don't know.
Was it the first DNF?
It probably would have been. But I found out today that apparently he had a contract with WAU, I think it was, and they were originally intending for him to be driving alongside Chaz, WAU, but apparently they lost
the contract.
Sponsor. Yeah, they lost a sponsor, and they said, sorry, that contract you signed 2 weeks ago, we're ripping it up. We can't afford to bring you on anymore because the sponsor.
Didn't he race for WAU?
Not as in, he was going to be in the second car for the season as the main driver. I don't think he did.
Yeah, sure he did.
Hazelwood. No, because then he drove for BJR because that contract fell through and he ended up driving for BJR.
Hazelwood, who drives with Kostecki, co-driver.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm googling. I need to know this answer now.
He said it.
While you're doing that, Trent, maybe you want to touch on that number 6 entry.
Number 6. I think it's cursed, that car. I don't know what they need to do to get that car a good result. There you go. Chris agrees with me. See, Hazelwood did not drive full time for WAU. Don't believe me, do you?
Well, that's not what I didn't believe you.
You just need to know.
Oh, okay, here we go. So 2020 season, he was offered a 2-year deal. Ultimately, it was cancelled.
Yeah. Did not know that until this afternoon.
I just knew that now.
Yeah.
There we go. Man, the number 6.
Number 6. I don't think they could have fumbled that race any more than they did. Aside from Frosty putting it into the tyres at the elbow.
Hey, Frosty, can you pit?
Pit. We're going to put
great guy out.
Oh shit! No, it's we need to put dry. Yeah,
come back in. What, this lap?
Shit, no, come back in again. Wet's back on again. Oh shit! Like 3 pit stops and 3 laps. That was and that just sealed the race for them from there. I think. But
surely, man, I've called this out on either Supercars or Speed Cafe article once before. Is Cam Waters the new Glenn Seaton of Bathurst?
Glenn Seaton race where he was 9 laps to go or whatever it was and his car died, and it was just... That was heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking to watch. Especially it was 30 years since his old man won the race. He was driving car number 30.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
To me, he is. He is the new Glenn Seaton. Because, mate, how many times and he's fast. There's no denying that Cam Waters is fast.
Yeah.
Is he wise in knowing when to battle and when not? I'm a little on the fence on it. I think that he doesn't. I think sometimes he needs to use his brain or be coached a little better from his pit bunker on what to do. But they just seem to get themselves into situations that just ruins their race.
Yeah. I think, he hasn't quite had the car there for him, on a consistent basis. They started the year as perfect as you can get. 3 poles, 3 wins.
So what?
It doesn't get much better.
Is that a team thing then? Is that like an engineering thing?
Potentially, yeah. You see a bit of ebb and flow throughout the year of certain teams. Triple Eight have just been killing it. Brock Feeney in that 88 car is next level. He is.
But you've got to have all the ingredients to finish the recipe.
Exactly, and something's missing at that team.
Well,
There's
at
just something
Tickford,
different.
you know,
Yeah.
to be honest, I shouldn't say to be honest. In my opinion, Frosty, when he won the championship, was actually still quite lucky to actually win it. There was a lot of kind of luck things that fell his way, right?
Yeah.
Had it not been for that championship with that team, mate, how many years are you going to go and not win a championship and either be the bridesmaid or third? And I'm quite shocked that Cam re-signed with them.
I think the other side is, like, although DJR was the official homologation team, like, Tickford and DJR worked together.
Yep.
And potentially the distraction of being part of that homologation team took them away from developing their own race car. So maybe Triple Eight coming on to be the homologation team will take a bit of that pressure off them, so then they can focus on their race car and their team rather than trying to homologate the package sort of thing.
Yeah, but again, it's like they haven't been a homologation team for like how long?
Yeah, like,
And
they're not the direct official team, but they do a lot of work with DJR. So
yeah, and I get
there is
that, but
distraction. They've even cut their team. Like, they obviously had 4 cars at one point, and they've
yeah,
cut
but that was
back
even a
down
hindrance
to
to them, if you ask me. 4 teams never added 4 valuable inputs of data,
It never did.
right? So I don't know. The car's jinxed. The car's jinxed for that track. I don't know when it's going to be that guy, and I call it the number 6 because it's Cam Waters, right? But I don't know what it's going to take for him to win a race. Is it leaving the team and going somewhere else, and just trying something new? Well, you got to wait another 2 years now, mate.
Yeah, I do think, like, sometimes when you rock up to a weekend, except for this one, you kind of know the car that's going to win or is going to be there or thereabouts. You kind of just know. Kostecki last year, the car was just quick all weekend. All through practice, qualifying, everything. Like, that car was just on. Like, Stoot won it. Like, that car was just, it was just
rolled off, like they say, rolled off the trailer, and it was a jet.
You just know that, and one day, maybe, that number 6 will just roll off the trailer, and it'll just be the car.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to be that car in order to win. Like, this year was obviously different with the rain and whatnot, that
Yeah,
changed
but
the race.
we're basically now saying that Tickford have never rolled off and been the car.
They have, probably when...
Frosty put it through the sand trap at the chase.
And, like, I love, like, Mostert's victory with Paul Morris back in the day. That was...
2014? Yeah, 2014. Yeah, they both started at the back of the field.
Yeah, it started dead last.
But that car wasn't on point, man, from the beginning.
No, it wasn't. That's what I mean. Like, to say, like, that car was just the opposite of that. Like, it wasn't really the car, but just everything worked for them.
Yeah.
The drivers were quick. Well, Morris put it into the wall. Griffin.
Twice, wasn't it?
So it wasn't.
It was in the wall twice, I think, from memory.
And, like, it had tape on it. It was not a pretty car. And
none of them are.
Yeah, they ended up
Falcons.
It went on to to win, and that was a cool story. But sometimes you just know. This weekend, for instance, Tander and Payne, they were not a dominant car.
No,
all weekend.
No,
at all.
They were there, or they were there or thereabouts. Race pace in terms of probably top 5, 6. And at the bottom half of, like, the bottom side of that, not the top. Yeah. And we touched on that in terms of, like, the work they did to make sure that they had a good race car that suited. If it goes dry, we're going to be okay. If it goes wet, we're going to be okay. And not side with one side or the other. I just don't know what he's going to do, man. I don't know what Cam was going to do. To me, I think the amount of time that you've spent at Tickford, you need a change. You need to have a change. You need to go and try somewhere else. I know.
Where's he going to go?
He was offered factory GM seat for next year.
With what team?
Team 18.
18. Is that really where you want to go? They're not exactly consistent race winners.
They're not consistent, but neither's Cam.
He's won more than Team 18 have.
No, yes. I acknowledge that, yes. Team 18 aren't the best, but to me, since they've been announced as the homologation team for 2026 for GM, they've started their incline towards the front of the field has been notable in my eyes. Mainly Anton out of him and Davey, but it's definitely on the right trajectory, in my opinion.
I think Davey's a bit hit and miss in that car at the moment. He's either on fire or he's at the back of the field.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that's been that. I think it's been like that for a couple of teams that he's been with.
Yeah.
So.
Moving on.
Yeah. What do we got now?
So strategy. Who had it right? Was it so up in the air or that no one really knew? We kind of touched on this a bit earlier in the show where we're talking about the way the rain came in was you really didn't know. Like it tricked a lot of like the number 6 car, for instance, and they weren't the only car that did it. That came in, changed to wets, then back off again, and then back to wets again.
Triple 8 did as well, hey?
Yeah, there was a couple of teams that did it, so it really was a bit tricky and probably a bit unusual for Bathurst. My experience with Bathurst has been it's dry, oh shit, it's wet. None of this sort of just like slowly, oh there's a bit of rain here, oh it's gone away, oh there's a bit of rain again, oh it's gone away. It does hit at one end of the track, but it's proper wet. And then within a lap or two, the track is drenched.
Yeah.
Whereas that didn't happen this time.
I think for them, I think the radar threw up a few banners in the works because one of the guys in the team that I'm with in the sim racing, he was posting up about this shower's going to come in say the next half an hour, but it's going to like just like swing past and it'll miss them kind of thing, and it didn't happen. Like it actually they got it. It rained, and then we did touch on before, like it dried a bit. It was like everyone's like, oh great, it's starting to dry. No. Here's another shower that's come through now, and it didn't fit with fuel windows. It didn't fit with tyre strategy or longevity. So teams were having to play strategy like really on the fly. Like, hey, this lap it's doing this. What should we do? Well, we don't know what it's going to do the next lap or the next 5 laps, so we've got to account for now. And taking the chance. Nah, stay out. No, come in. I think there was one stage the safety car was called and you just saw the whole field pull in and the DJR 38 stayed out.
Yeah.
And then
it
poured down with rain. Yeah. 5 laps and then it poured with rain. And you're like, those cars that were coming in were putting on wet tyres because they could see the rain was about to come. Yeah. That to me is, like I'm saying, nobody really knew what the strategy was going to be. It was, we've got to wing it and hope we get it right.
Yeah. That was pretty much it.
Yeah. I don't think there's really much more to add on that unless you've got more.
That's pretty much it.
Safety cars. Obviously saw a few when the rain and that came and there was a few incidents and stranded cars, which is the standard. I think the recovery team is probably the best that I've seen the recovery team work and get cars put off the track and back to racing that I've seen in a long time up there. So I think that was really, really positive.
exception to that would be probably Feeney. Like, I thought that extraction took a lot longer than it potentially should
They
have.
couldn't get the tow point strap out of the back of the bumper, so they couldn't hook the hook in. I guess the tow hook into it to pull it out.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. Yeah, because that car seemed to take forever to get out of the wall. Like, it really shouldn't have taken that long. But it makes sense if they couldn't actually hitch it, to pull it out.
Yeah, but I remember back in the day they used to have it actually come out, and teams would tape it to the back of the bumper, or they would have it in a situation where if they couldn't get the snatch, they could open the boot and get it from there. So I don't know what the process is with the boot lids these days, because half of it is enclosed with the quarter panels, but the part within the wing, in between the wing mounts, is something you can remove, but I'm not sure it's a simple just clip mechanism. I think you may have to use those, doing hand signals and everything here, screw-in type ones. So, yeah, unsure. I do have a question, though, regarding safety car. Last 3 laps, quite a bit of low-lying cloud or fog ascended over the top of the mountain. Should there have been a safety car?
There should have been a red flag.
Why?
100%.
Why?
Visibility. You couldn't see between
Marshal
marshal
points.
Plus, as a safety point of view, had there been a massive shunt at the top of the hill, a helicopter can't get in to potentially remove the person.
And is it going to be too late to the other cars coming at speed?
Yeah.
To try and avoid it?
Like, it got to a point there, the last maybe 3 laps. I don't want to make it too late towards the end, but probably the last 3 laps really probably shouldn't have happened. They should have red flagged it. Obviously, they didn't want to because the race was pretty good.
Do we know who was in the lead at that time?
I think Tander had the lead by then. Oh, sorry, Payne. Payne had the lead by then.
Okay.
They led for the last.
But if it's a red flag, doesn't it revert to the lap prior?
The lap prior. So it would have been fine. With 3 laps to go, the results would have been the same. The only difference might have been the 99 car.
Yeah.
Might have been within 5 seconds of Golding at the front. That's probably the only difference that might have come from the result. But I do believe that the race should have been flagged. It should have been flagged with that much fog, especially on that last lap. You could not see a thing.
Oh, yeah, the camera vision from the helicopter was crazy. Like, you couldn't even see the car through it, you know.
No, so I know in other sports, like Formula 1 and stuff, like if they got fog like that, they don't race.
They don't race when the track's wet. What are you talking about? Don't worry about fog.
They don't race not because of visibility, but because the helicopters can't. It's too dangerous for a helicopter to fly in those kind of conditions.
I'd do it.
Which is, I'm surprised they still were flying the helicopter for the camera.
Yeah, I'd do it.
Didn't make sense to me at all. I thought they'd be grounding them, but
balls are still here. I'd do it.
Yeah. So I think
that's what's going to happen. Just crash the helicopter, get another one in. We need recovery.
2 to 3 laps to go. I think there should have been a red flag.
Yeah. Could you imagine the outroar though? Man, socials would have gone 100%. Filthy, and
100%.
I don't reckon we would have been here. We wouldn't be having this conversation had it been a red flagged race.
Yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think Supercars were. I think they played the lesser of. They might have gambled with safety a little, but I think it was the most popular decision. I won't say the correct one, but probably the most popular decision amongst fans.
Yep. Last question, mate. We got to wrap it up.
Yep.
Were we shocked with the result?
Yes and no. I'd suggest, probably shocked the Mustang one. Because it was a dry race. That was not happening.
Yeah.
But I think circumstances around cars that were at the pointy end at the end, I think if you sort of look, it's not a shock. but to see the cars that started 18th, I think all top 3 cars made up at least 10 spots.
I was going to say at least 15 kind of thing. Yeah,
they were all down the second half of the grid type thing. So in that regards, it probably was a shock. But if you're watching the race and how it unfolded, the end result probably wasn't a shock. It's those cars were quick in those conditions for the majority of the race.
To me, I don't know why. I had a good feeling that based on last year, Tanner and Payne had some pretty good pace, and if it wasn't for the accident that took him out, then I'm pretty sure they had an accident that took him out. But anyway, I'm pretty sure they DNF'd. They were a strong showing. I think, definitely a top 5 team to take out the win, especially the work that they did on that Friday and Saturday practice stuff. You could just tell that they were zoned in on worrying about the race and nothing else. So surprised from that point of view? No. Surprised that Payne got to the front, then spun, or not spun, but had the off at the chase, and then made it back. Yes. And things have just got to fall your way, right?
Yeah.
And the 2 cars in front battled, and he caught up, and the 2 cars in front came together. And mind you, he only just got past Golding. Golding kind of took his while. Do you know what? I almost think that Golding was, do I redress? And then decided, crap, I'll get going. And Payne made it through just.
I think, to be honest, out of the top cars, I think Golding had the quickest car at that point. So, it's a shame it ended for them the way it did, and for the 99 as well. But I think Reynolds was also probably one of the quickest cars towards the end too.
Yeah. Do you know what? There was, speaking of the 99, really wanted to see a really good result and would not have been unhappy for a win for Cooper and Joe. Mm-hmm. However, did not want Erebus to go back to back.
I was a bit torn as well. Erebus, I like and I hate, and I like and I hate. I like that they are probably punching above their weight, to be honest.
I don't see it, man.
I
don't see it.
What I would have been impressed with had Erebus done back to back with completely different drivers, sort of thing. So not just that the other car won, it would have been the same car effectively with 2 different drivers. I think that would have been pretty impressive. On top of the fact that there were 2 young guys.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen a 99 for that reason.
Yeah.
To see a back-to-back, a different combination in the same car, and the fact that Cooper and Job were young. I know the names from iRacing, and it just would have been cool to see that on the top step of the podium.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for me it was didn't want Erebus to. Do you know what? It was even mainly probably more like Betty and Barry. Like I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it, but would have been pretty mega to see 2 young guys, definitely. So,
final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Far out, man. You've sprung that one on me. Yeah, lot covered. 2 hours. 2 hours and something show. 2 hours and 10 minutes, roughly.
A lot longer than.
Do you know what? I actually thought it was going to go 2 hours. I did.
I thought an hour and a half, maybe.
Nah. Thought it was going to be 2 hours.
So thank you for everyone still watching and listening.
Yeah, thanks for everyone for that. And we've got our normal show, episode 2, coming up on Thursday next week. Are we still going to do that, or Wednesday? Or are we?
Yeah, we'll do our normal show.
Yeah, we'll do
Wednesday
that. Okay, normal show next week. So that'll be good. And do you know what's on the weekend of that? Is Gold Coast for Supercars.
Oh yeah, the weekend after. Actually,
Isn't it the 25th?
What?
Isn't Gold Coast the 25th and 26th?
Yeah, it's next weekend.
Yeah.
So it's the weekend after our show, and the MotoGP is on in Australia this week, I think. This weekend.
Yeah, so we'll have a bit of, I guess, MotoGP maybe to cover off. Or we might. F1 will be on this weekend as well. Oh, from Kota.
So we'll have some
real life motorsport.
Real life motorsport to cover next week, along with the iRacing stuff.
Yeah, some sim racing chat for sure. A couple of series to have a quick talk about, and that you guys kind of know about. So I think from that though, we'll wrap it up. And Trent, thanks for your evening tonight, your input, and just want to acknowledge that the show is based around our own opinions, and they are made of ourselves and not influenced by others outside of the show, I should say. Due to we were looking at bringing up some photos and stuff throughout the show, but due to copyrights and stuff, we need to do some more research into that on legality side of it. So unless we get approval from people, we can't show stuff, which is unfortunate. But yeah, so we'll be looking at that in the background anyway for future shows. And just thanks to all the viewers who tuned in. Make sure you jump on Spotify if you want to go back and have a listen to it while you're driving to work or home from work or something like that of an evening. That'll be uploaded in the next couple of hours. Mate, I'm pretty sure that's where we'll end off.
That's a wrap. All right. Yep. Thanks for having this chat tonight, and thank you to everyone who's watched, listened, interacted in the chat, etc., asked questions. Really enjoyed the live interaction with you guys that